pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, tonight's agenda, you have it in front of you. Would like to pull under the consent agenda, letter J, the e-bike update memo. I think Chief Lindblom's gonna talk just briefly about that. And we do have an Edgewood Street update as well that we would put after the consent agenda. Anybody else have any changes? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
I'll make a motion we adopt the agenda as amended.
Second.
We have a motion by Mike, second by Rick. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. The agenda is approved. Guests in open forum, we have the Great River Regional Library Annual Presentation. We'll turn it over to Hillary Dawson. Welcome, thanks for being here.
Thank you, and good evening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring you the annual report for 2024.
Do you want to maybe pull the mic closer to you? They can hear you
Thank
at
you.
home.
Thanks. So I know many of you are familiar with the library, but for those of you who may not be, I would like to introduce Great River Regional Library as a whole and then talk about Becker specifically. So Great River is one library system serving 6 counties through 32 individual branches. Our mission is to explore, learn, and connect. Our core values are exceptional service, forward thinking, and community focus. So we do this through the traditional means of putting a physical book or other resource into a person's hands, as well as offering digital resources at every age level. Educational opportunities through Ask or Book a Librarian, homework help, and tech help are also offered. We are connecting with our community through the ways mentioned, as well as offering programming, educator request forms, volunteer opportunities, as well as others. Great River Regional by the numbers. So if we want to take a look there, Great River now has over 96,000 borrowers as a whole. 17,000 of those are in Sherburne County. Becker is one of 3 branches housed in Sherburne County. And Becker has 2,528 of the Sherburne County patrons calling Becker their home library. Last year, Great River circulated about 2 million items, with 324,000 of those in Sherburne County and 56,000 of those circulated through our branch here in Becker. That is reflecting an increase of about 2,000 items circulated over the 2023 numbers. We had a digital circulation of about 484,000 last year. So that's all of our ebooks, and there are other like movies, that kind of thing, that are offered through Hoopla as well. And then Becker's library impact. So as you can see, our borrower number is listed there again. We house about 16,000 items, and that number is fluid because of our the floating nature of our collection. So all of our items, not all, most of our items float between those 32 different branches. So they may be called in by a patron and then sent off for another patron at a different branch. So they're just constantly moving around. We had over 10,000 checkout sessions. The circ number is there again for you to see. We had about 30,000 visits to our library last year and thousands of information requests. Our reading challenge registration numbers are there for you to see. And then on the bottom are our hours. We are open 33 hours per week according to that schedule. So I just want to draw your attention to the furniture and the pictures. Our Friends of the Library organization was able to secure a grant for $12,000 from Central Minnesota Libraries Exchange last year. With that grant, they purchased both lounge seating and study table chairs. That's creating a fresh, welcoming space in our library. They also purchased shelving units for our picture books and our large print collections. And that's allowing us to house more materials so we can put more titles in front of our patrons. I would like to thank the Friends for all the work that they did to get that grant and all the things that they do to continue to support the library community. Is everybody familiar with the Friends of the Library group and what they do?
We are, but why don't you take a minute to explain it? Just so
I will.
people-
So, the Friends of the Library organization has a mission of increasing library services to enrich cultural advantages for our community through fundraising, advocating, and volunteering. I do have a brochure I'll leave with you guys. So what they do is primarily they do book sales a couple of times a year, and then they also have a book sale cart in our library. And they volunteer in our library, and for us, they'll advocate. So sometimes it'll be writing something for the paper, or it may just be, chatting with friends or community members and letting them know about the services that we provide. So they are a great asset to us for sure. I would like to speak briefly about how the library impacts our community through our many resources. So most people think, of course, of books when they think of the library, and we have a ton of those for sure, in many formats and for all age levels, all audiences. But we also offer digital books and audiobooks through Libby. So if you're familiar with that, we have a platform called Libby. And then we also have another digital resource, a platform called Hoopla. And through that, we offer books, audiobooks, movies, music, magazines, and great courses. It's like having a free streaming service, really. And it allows us to offer the library to people. So say you're a snowbird or are on vacation, the library literally will come to you, so you don't have to worry about losing a book or having something be overdue. You can continue your library service regardless of where you are. So I really think that that is a neat feature that we have. We also have a ton of database offerings, a couple of which I'll just mention. So we have access to like driving tests, genealogy research tools, Britannica Online, LinkedIn Learning, and much more. LinkedIn Learning offers thousands of courses in business, technical and creative skills that you can access for free from the comfort of your own home. Courses are available from communication and management to entrepreneurship, sales and video production, along with everything in between. It is really a wealth of information at your fingertips. We also have a service called MinLink. Is anybody familiar with that? So MinLink allows us to borrow from other library services. So Great River as a whole can borrow from, say, Viking land or any of the Viking. Got a little Harley in my head right now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Anyway, so from the Viking or from Hennepin County or any of those other library systems. So that opens up a whole another collection to our patrons. So maybe it's a homeschooling mom who's really looking for a specific book. They can pull that in. We have a gentleman who comes in with his list of movies every week, and a lot of times we have to source from outside of our collection to get those for him. It's a fantastic resource that allows us to just provide a greater selection to our patrons. We also offer printing services and Wi-Fi to go. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but you can actually take a hotspot home. We have both what we call a lucky day, so that borrows for 1 week, and then we also have a 3-week borrow. So that allows people, if they're, say, going to the cabin or if for some other reason they don't have Wi-Fi accessible to them at home, it is free Wi-Fi. And then just moving on, Becker programming. So we do offer a lot of different programs to our community. All of the programming through the library is free. So you may see some things here that might be offered elsewhere, but anything that you come to at the library is free. So we offered a total of 141 programs with an attendance of 2,806 people in 2024. So we have a monthly, basically a core programming that we offer monthly, both to children and for adults. So that would include things like story time, Tiny Tots, our School in Art program. We also offer a book club and tech time for adults. We bring presenters in, performers in, artisans in. So if you look at the bottom there in the center, that group of people, that is author Gabrielle Meyer. She is pictured with our book club members. Magic Bob, he helped us kick off the summer reading program last year, and we also have a picture there of artist Laura Ruprecht with some of our patrons in the center with our mosaic, our community mosaic. So they created that project together under her guidance. We also connect with our community through our outreach. So we've attended some things such as Sherburne County Public Health Family Celebration, Touch a Truck, Breakfast with Santa, and we also value the partnerships that we have with our Becker schools. So Becker Schools Art Show, Grade 1 at the library, those are a couple of things that we do. Thanks to our generous donations during the Locally Grown campaign in 2024, we were able to add Wonder Books to our collection. And Locally Grown, in case you are unfamiliar, is our annual fundraiser in which all donations stay at the branch. So everything purchased with Locally Grown funds stays in Becker for our patrons, and it will stay in our branch for 6 months to 3 years before it is allowed to circulate outside of our branch. So become one of those floating items that can be requested. And here's a couple of examples of Wonder Books. So what Wonder Books are is they're a print book with an audiobook component. Probably remember those books with CD back in the day? Well, this is the same thing, only it is all one unit. We offer them in picture books and also in early chapter books. The early chapter books are nice for those reluctant to go from a picture book to a chapter book, or for those who are struggling to read. So we like to have those, and they are very popular with our patrons. I just want to thank you for your time and answer any questions that you may have.
All right. Any questions about the
I did
library?
have, but I forgot what it was.
You mentioned the LinkedIn Learning, which I'm familiar with. So is that the same, that's the same LinkedIn Learning that if I went and signed up for that service with my LinkedIn account, it'd be the same? Do I have to, if I were to come in and use that, would I have to use it at the facility, or how does that work?
No, there are a few of our databases that are required to be used in-house, but that is not one of them. So if you have your library card, you log in with your library card and PIN number, and you have access to LinkedIn Learning. And all of,
Log into the Great River platform or log in into LinkedIn?
log in through LinkedIn Learning.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so if you go to Great River and then go to databases, you'll see an entire list. Some are inside the library, some are with a barcode, and some are to everyone. You don't even have to have a library card to access them.
Looks like you need a library card, Rick.
Yeah, another one, yeah.
And again, that's free. So it's probably the greatest resource that's, kind of secret, it feels like. Everybody seems to say, oh, we have a library. Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Any other questions for Hillary?
May I leave these with you?
Yeah, please do. And Hillary, thanks to you and your staff and your volunteers. I know a lot of people count on your library, and you do a great job, so thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Have a good
absolutely.
evening.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have anybody else for open forum? All right, seeing none, then we will move on to committee reports. Joint Fire Board?
Joint Fire Board, we met the same night as our, we'll call it joint meeting. Main item of discussion, as you can guess, was the budget that we were gonna be presenting later that night, along with the ratification. Those were which were both presented that night, so those were the main items for discussion at Fire Board.
All right, any questions for Rick about Fire Board? All right, Parks and Rec.
Park and Rec met on July 21st. The majority of our meeting was taking a look at the CIP for 2026. We talked a little bit about the new park on the east side of the river. They're looking for ideas for names, and they're going to start some site preparations over there and just get the ground leveled out and a few things like that. Pleasant Valley Park equipment replacement, they're looking at an early August install. And then we did take a look at the pour-in-place surfacing on the community park behind the community center. They've had a few issues with it. We've got a 5-year warranty on it, and I think the decision was made that night just to let it go through the winter and take a look at it in the spring and see if there's any deterioration.
Which service was that?
It's all around the park, the
The
equipment.
playground surface, it's a poured-in-place surface,
Spongy.
and it got tore up from use, and it was not even a year old, so there was something wrong. and they fixed it, and we're not saying it's good at this point, but we're gonna sit and
But
wait.
we've got some time
some
to,
warranty
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
to let it see how it looks come spring.
All right. Sounds great. Golf committee.
We didn't meet.
Okay, that's an easy one.
It was budget and Josh went over everything at our meeting.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Budget and finance?
Budget and finance, our main topic of discussion was, we had some post follow-up discussions on the proposed 2026 budget. That was our main items of discussion.
Okay. And planning commission?
Planning Commission, we had a couple items. We had some not 11, chapter 4 edits. Some edits that we discussed there. We also talked about the Sherburne County zoning and subdivision ordinance. They were just looking for a little bit of feedback, and so staff had proposed some feedback, and we just, we agreed with the feedback that staff had proposed, so that was about it. It's a pretty quick meeting.
Okay, all right. Thank you for those reports. Move on to number 7, board committee and consultant reports. We have the Becker Fire Relief Association and statewide volunteer firefighter plan. Mr. LaRue.
Traditionally, fire departments have had their own relief association that they have operated themselves to create a pension fund for their members. And about 15 years ago, the state created a statewide volunteer firefighter relief association that allowed local associations to move their assets to this fund, which is managed by PRA, but it is separate from any other pension funds. And they would professionally manage the retirement dollars, the pension dollars. And it started slow, but now there's about 200 members, Relief Association members that contribute or that go to the statewide. And last year, the City, Township, and Relief Association initiated the process, which starts by asking the state to do an analysis of what the current funds look like, what potential funding sources you're going to have, and then what level of pension you might be able to offer. Last year, the process was not completed in time, so it was restarted again this year. And the analysis was included in the agenda packet. And the Relief Association had a special meeting. They recommended moving to the statewide plan. It is required also that the city and the township separately do this. That's why it was not at the joint meeting in July. And there are some advantages to doing it. There are a lot of costs that the Relief Association no longer has to pay. They do not have to do an annual audit of their funds. They don't have to do an actuarial study. There are lower investment fees. And so over time, and it's a higher, assumed investment return as well. So over time, there should be additional funds for their retirement, allowing a higher increase or more regular increase. And so tonight before you is a resolution that would approve the move for the Becker Relief Association to the statewide plan. It will be on the township agenda at their meeting in August. The Relief Association has always submitted their resolution to the state. And this would transfer would happen at the end of the year. It only happens on the last day of the year. So we have plenty of time to meet that. In addition to the resolution here, at the joint meeting, there was an increase approved of $5,300. That matches, that would be their benefit level when we move to the statewide plan. And the annual increases or the increases are still determined locally. And it still would need to go through both the Relief Association and then the township and the city. And those increases can be approved at the joint meeting. It's this particular move that has to be approved separately. So resolution 2557 is before you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Greg? So the fire board did recommend this move to the city and the township, and we did approve the benefit increase.
Yep, at the July joint meeting.
At the July joint meeting. So even at that, they're over 100% funded. So that was a good thing, I think, that we did.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, right. Any other questions? If not, we would look for a motion to approve Resolution 2527, which would
57.
allow us, 2557, thank you. That would allow us to join the statewide volunteer firefighter plan.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mike, we have a second by Robin. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. And that motion carries. Thank you. And we'll move on to administrator and staff reports. It looks like we have some HVAC replacement. Mr. Zwilling,
Yes.
welcome.
He had one, now he's back again right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
good evening.
Before you tonight, I have a resolution, RCA and Resolution 2558 for your consideration. The HVAC on the Water Administration Building is original from 1996. That being said, service life is generally 15 years, and it is currently on its 29th year. The decision was made to replace, to avoid costly repairs that is outlived its service life. The staff received 2 quotes for the replacement, and they were included in a packet. I am looking for a motion and a second approving Resolution 2558, approving the HVAC replacement for the Water Administration Building.
All right, anybody have any questions for Troy?
I just had one, there was a fair bit of difference between the Dalen and the McDowell,
Yeah.
quotes.
That's just, I guess that's why we get several quotes sometimes. Some are higher, some are lower. I guess I still feel confident Dahlin will get the job done for the quoted price, so.
These are residential furnace and AC units, so that's probably why there's a difference from one to the other.
Yep.
So the lesson is if you're replacing your residential one, make sure you get 2 quotes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good to know. The warranties were similar between them,
Yeah, yeah.
things like that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We used Dahlin at the Public Works building for the most recent remodel, and they'll be doing another unit.
Oh.
And no issues with them, as far as quality and follow-up with workmanship.
Yep.
Approval with us as well.
Awesome. Good. Any other questions from council? If not, we would be looking for a motion on Resolution 2558 to replace the HVAC at the water main building.
Make a motion to adopt Resolution 2558.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Rick, a second by Mike. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Wonderful. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Mr. LaRue again.
Mayor Colberger, city council members, items for adoption, approval, or review on tonight's revised consent agenda include payment of the bills, the minutes of the July 15th, 2025 city council meeting, the minutes of the July 15th, 2025 city council exec session, and the minutes of the July 21st, 2025 budget workshop meeting. Committee meeting minutes, the state demographer's 2024 population estimate, the purchase of fitness equipment for the police department, Resolution 25-56 accepting a $7,500 donation from the Becker Lions Club for lighting at Snuffy's Landing, change order number 10 for the police department city hall project in the amount of $15,853.20. Resolution 25-59 approving a joint powers agreement with the Minnesota BCA and court services. Partial pay request number 2 in the amount of $412,412.26 to OMG Midwest for the 2025 street improvement project. Partial pay request number 2 in the amount of $69,350 to St. Cloud Refrigeration for the wastewater treatment facility storage building HVAC system project. And partial pay request number 3 and final in the amount of $8,650 to St. Cloud Refrigeration for the wastewater treatment facility storage building HVAC. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? Hearing none, we'll look for a motion to approve that.
Motion we approve the consent agenda as presented?
No second.
We have a motion by Mike, a second by Rick. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. That carries. Again, a thank you to the Lions Club for their continued generosity. And the state demographer says we have 5,221 people in town, so.
That's a 2024 estimate.
Correct. This is probably even higher now. Cool. All right, moving on. Chief Lindblom, we're just gonna talk briefly about the e-bike update. As people know, we've been working on that for a while. He's done a lot of work along with Public Works, so thank you. And
Yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity to give you a quick update, as I said that I would. Just want to highlight what's been done and where we're going. So we did put out a social media post that's was well received by the citizens. Got a lot of questions and comments on that. Just talking a little bit about e-bikes, what they are, what the rules are, what the statutes and laws are. That was followed with an article by the Patriot. That was a joint effort by the school superintendent and myself. To again highlight some of those the dangers with the riding conditions and things like that. And then additionally, I advise my staff to be proactive about enforcing state statute that's currently on the books for statutes related to e-bikes. One of the important ones is the age limit of 15. So anytime that they're dealing with a juvenile that's under 15 on them, then we're making contact with the parents as well to fill them in on the state statute rules there. So that's kind of what we've been done so far. Moving forward is going to be the process of establishing a city ordinance related to the e-bikes. In the memo that I had attached for the council, it states that we were waiting for the county attorney to discuss some of the legal ramifications of some of those options. We did receive that information back, so now I'm in the process of moving forward with establishing an e-bike ordinance that would highlight the state statutes that are already on the books, which is something that the police would issue a state citation for, and then additional other options that the city can have that's not included in state statute. So a good example would be, not riding an e-bike on off of a city-owned trail. So to cover people riding through parks and on park equipment and that type of thing, we can add those onto our ordinance. That then would be a separate administrative issue for the police department. So I'm gonna be working on that ordinance in conjunction with some of our other staff and hope to bring a draft ordinance to the council at our next meeting. Additionally, we've had some other discussions with Streets and Public Works about other options like adding stop signs to more of our intersections that would limit the ability for our e-bikes to get enough speed. A lot of the complaints that we get are that they drive very fast, and once they start, they don't stop. So we've discussed the options of adding stop signs on the pedestrian trails that would require them to come to a stop to kind of slow some of the speeds there. So a few different options that we're looking at adding into the e-bike area here, as it seems to be heating up in pretty much every city in Minnesota right now. Mm-hmm. So do you have any questions about that process or how things are looking?
What kind of response are you getting from parents when you're speaking with them?
Mostly that they had no idea.
Okay.
I was a little worried that people would be upset. They're not cheap bikes and
Right.
thousands of dollars sometimes. So far it's been well received. We'll just see how well that proactivity works for, keeping kids off of them on the sidewalks.
So if you put stop signs on the trails, will they actually stop for them?
Possibly not, but that's why the hope is that they will, right? As with any traffic control device that we use for cars or bicycles. Yeah. One of the benefits there is that it gives us another reason to make that contact, right? It's an enforcement action. That let's say it's somebody that's legally, older than 15, they're on the right size bike, they're not going ridiculously fast, but they go through the stop sign because they're just carrying through. That gives us an opportunity to have some enforcement action or a conversation. Whereas right now we don't, because a lot of the complaints we get are that there's just kind of no regard for stopping or slowing for crossings, and people are concerned that they're going to get hit when they're crossing different driveways and entrances to businesses. So that would possibly help curb some of that.
All right, any other questions? Well, thanks, Chief, and thanks to Public Works. I know you've put a lot of time into this, and so we appreciate everybody doing that. Thank you. Rolling into, I wanted to also point out, I received a letter from a mom in regards to their son being pulled over by Becker PD. So that was a first. I thought, where is this going? But she was very complimentary and told me a little story about her son, that he just panicked and decided to flee the police. But her letter, it was actually addressed to Mayor Bertram. But it said, my name is, I won't mention that. I wanted to send you a note of thanks for having the most amazing police force in the entire state of Minnesota. So I had to point that out because that's not usually don't get a lot of fan mail for the PD. So congratulations to, I talked to Chief about that earlier, and the officer, so thank you. Did want to close the meeting by just recognizing the recent tragedy on Edgewood Street. And I think people are aware of that, and I know it's created a lot of discussion in the community, a lot of concern, a lot of people reaching out and looking for action. So I thought it would be appropriate tonight, and Chief did post this, and the city posted it today, but we just want the citizens to know we hear your concerns, and let you know that we are taking steps and have been even before this unspeakable tragedy. So from the law enforcement side, we've seen increased patrols on Edgewood Street daily. We're looking at continuing the strict enforcement of all speed limits and crosswalk rules. Traffic monitoring, still looking at the data showing that the speeds on Edgewood are consistent with our other main roads, but we remain vigilant. Public works and infrastructure improvements. This is included in the city's capital improvement plan for next year, pending final approval for the next 2 years. Council action was taken on July 15th to approve moving forward with the engineering and design work. So we're already doing that. That comprehensive redesign work will include looking at and reviewing the road width, speed limits, the trail location and safety amenities with that trail, the crosswalk visibility, and includes looking at the intersection of Edgewood and CASA 23. We've taken some action to look at there. We did have the mayor's roundtable last week, so multi-agency discussion about Edgewood and traffic concerns. And we all continue to work together to see where we can enhance that pedestrian safety. And our next steps will be cost estimates will be developed based on the engineering designs, and City Council later this year will be looking at recommendations and a timeline to accelerate these improvements. So together we are committed to making Becker Street safe for everyone, and we will continue to do that. Anybody else have anything for tonight? If not, we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion by Mike, second by Robin. All in favor of adjourning, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Meeting is adjourned at 5:33. Thank you.